Vandeham Shri Guru Vaishnavamsa Shri Sagrajata Sagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Harijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhamritam Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Detatharine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Pariprajakacharya Stotras Jasi Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Samstapakacharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Pariprajakacharya Stotras Jasi Srimad Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaur Bhaktavinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopina Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Mona Mai Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Dev Ki Jai. Samveta Bhaktavinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Glories to Sri Prabhupada. Our verse for today is from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 7, knowledge of the absolute, text 17. But text 17 really has to be read along with text 16. So I'll begin by reading text 16 and then proceed to text 17. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Chatur Vida Gajanti Mam Jana Sukritinarjuna Artho Jigyasur Artarti Gyani Cha Paratar Shaba Chatur Vida Bhajante Mam Jana Sukritinarjuna Artho Jigyasur Artarti Gyani Cha Bharatar Shaba Chatuvida Four kinds of bhajante, render service. Mam, unto me. Jana, persons. Sukritina, those who are pious. Arjuna, O Arjuna. Artha, the distressed. Jigyasu, the inquisitive. Artarti, one who desires material gain. Jnani, one who knows things as they are. Cha, also. Bharatarshava, O great one among the descendants of Bharata. Translation. O best among the Bharatas, four kinds of pious men begin to render devotional service unto me. The distressed, the desirer of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for knowledge of the Absolute. Please repeat. O best among the Bharatas, four kinds of pious men begin to render devotional service unto me. The distressed, the desirer of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for knowledge of the Absolute. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Unlike the miscreants, these are adherents of the regulative principles of the scriptures, and they are called Sukritina, or those who obey the rules and regulations of scriptures, the moral and social laws, and are more or less devoted to the Supreme Lord. Out of these, there are four classes of men. Those who are sometimes distressed, those who are in need of money, those who are sometimes inquisitive, and those who are sometimes searching after knowledge of the absolute truth. These persons come to the Supreme Lord for devotional service under different conditions. These are not pure devotees because they have some aspiration to fulfill in exchange for devotional service. Pure devotional service is without aspiration and without desire for material profit. The Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.1.11 defines pure devotion thus: Anyabilasita shunyam jnana karma dhyanavritam anukulyena krishnanu shilanam bhaktiruttama. One should render transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord Krishna favorably, without desire for material profit or gain through fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. That is called pure devotional service. When these four kinds of persons come to the Supreme Lord for devotional service and are completely purified by the association of a pure devotee, they also become pure devotees. As far as the miscreants are concerned, for them, devotional service is very difficult because their lives are selfish, irregular, and without spiritual goals. So in this verse, Lord Krishna describes four kinds of pious people who surrender to him. And in the earlier verses, he described four kinds of miscreants who don't surrender to him. So this is a contrast to them. So as far as the miscreants are concerned, for them devotional service is very difficult because their lives are selfish, irregular, and without spiritual goals. But even some of them, by chance, when they come in contact with a pure devotee, also become pure devotees. And we have so many examples of people who became devotees by the association of a pure devotee, by the association of Srila Prabhupada. Those who are always busy with fruitive activities come to the Lord in material distress, and at that time associate with pure devotees, and become, in their distress, devotees of the Lord. Those who are simply frustrated also come sometimes to associate with the pure devotees and become inquisitive to know about God. Similarly, when the dry philosophers are frustrated in every field of knowledge, they sometimes want to learn of God, and they come to the Supreme Lord to render devotional service, and thus transcend knowledge of the impersonal and the localized Paramatma, and come to the personal conception of Godhead by the grace of the Supreme Lord or his pure devotee. On the whole, when the distressed, the inquisitive, the seekers of knowledge, and those who are in need of money are free from all material desires, and when they fully understand that material remuneration has nothing to do with spiritual improvement, they become pure devotees. As long as such a purified stage is not attained, devotees in transcendental service to the Lord are tainted with fruitive activities, the search for mundane knowledge, etc. So one has to transcend all this before one can come to the stage of pure devotional service. So much emphasis is given to the association of pure devotees and the attainment of pure devotional service. We should discuss for a few minutes what is pure devotional service. And as Srila Prabhupada quoted in the purport, the definition is given by Srila Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.1.11 as follows. Anya Bilasita Sunyam. So Anya means other, and Vilas means desire. And Sunyam means none. So Anya Bilas Sunyam would mean with no other desire. But Rupa Goswami has added the suffix ita, Anyabilasita Sunyam, and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains the significance of the suffix ita to mean that under ordinary circumstances, the devotee has no other desire. But in extraordinary circumstances, for example, if the devotee is being attacked by someone with deadly weapons, the devotee may pray for protection. So ordinarily, in pure devotional service, one does not pray for physical protection. But Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that the significance of this suffix ita is that in special circumstances, one may pray for material protection, for example, and that is not a violation of the principle of pure devotional service. So, Anya Vilasita Sunyam, Jnana means, say, mental speculation, karma, fruitive activities, adi, etc., anavritam, it is not covered. So pure devotional service is not covered by fruitive activities or mental speculation or anything else. Anukulyena. Anukul means favorable. And Krishna Anushilanam. Anushilanam means cultivation. It's a cultivation. It's an activity. Bhaktir Uttama, that is superior bhakti or pure devotional service. So, yes, Anukul, our service should be favorable to Krishna, to Krishna's pleasure. One can be Krishna conscious unfavorably, just like in the early in New York City, there was a real estate agent named Mr. Payne who was trying to cheat the devotees. So one day, Mr. Payne phoned Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada said, "Oh, Mr. Payne, I was just thinking of you." And later the devotees asked Srila Prabhupada, "Is that true that you were just thinking of him?" And Srila Prabhupada said, "Yes." Like Kamsa was thinking of Krishna. So Kamsa was also Krishna conscious, but not in a favorable mood, in an antagonistic mood. So pure devotional service, anukul, favorable, anukul, Krishna anu, shilanam bhakti uttama. So now we come to today's verse, text 17. which is a continuation of the discussion in text 16. Tesham Gyani Nityayukta Eka Bhaktir Vishishyate Priyo Hi Gyanino Tyartham Aham Sacha Mama Priya Tesham Gyani Nityayukta Eka Bhaktir Vishishyate Priyo Hi Gyanino Tyartham Aham Sacha Mama Priya Tesham, out of them, Gyani, one in full knowledge, Nitya Yukta, always engaged, Eka, only, Bhakti, devotional service, Vishishyate is special, Priya, very dear, He, certainly, Gyanina, to the person in knowledge, Atyartham, highly, Aham, I am, Sa, he, Cha, also, Mama, to me, Priya, dear. Translation. Of these, the one who is in full knowledge and who is always engaged in pure devotional service is the best. For I am very dear to him, and he is dear to me. Please repeat. Of these, the one who is in full knowledge and who is always engaged in pure devotional service is the best. For I am very dear to him, and he is dear to me. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Free from all contaminations of material desires, the distressed, the inquisitive, the penniless, and the seeker after supreme knowledge can all become pure devotees. But out of them, he who is in knowledge of the absolute truth and free from all material desires becomes a really pure devotee of the Lord. And of the four orders, the devotee who is in full knowledge and is at the same time engaged in devotional service is, the Lord says, the best. By searching after knowledge, one realizes that his self is different from his material body. And when further advanced, he comes to the knowledge of impersonal Brahman and Paramatma. And when one is fully purified, he realizes that his constitutional position is to be the eternal servant of God. So the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam says that the absolute truth is realized in three features: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Brahman is, the absolute truth, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Sat Chit Ananda. Sat means eternal, Chit means cognizant, and Ananda means bliss, fullness. So, yes, as stated in Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. So he has a form of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. So the absolute truth can be realized as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And realization of Brahman is just Sat, realization of eternity. Realization of Paramatma includes both Sat, eternity, and Chit, cognizance. But only realization of Bhagavan, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, includes Ananda, or bliss. And every living entity is seeking happiness. And as Srila Prabhupada says, that they're, in one purport, they're vainly seeking happiness in the material atmosphere. They are spiritual beings and they can realize happiness only in the spiritual atmosphere. So, the devotees, they realize that bliss in loving reciprocation with Krishna. So, by searching after knowledge, one realizes that his self is different from his material body. And when further advanced, he comes to the knowledge of impersonal Brahman and Paramatma. When one is fully purified, he realizes his constitutional position to be the eternal servant of God. Yes, Lord Chaitanya states that Jiver Swarupai Krishna Nityadas. The Swarup, the constitutional position of the living entity, is that he's the eternal servant of Krishna. And only when he is situated in his constitutional position as the eternal servant of Krishna is he happy and satisfied. Srimad Bhagavatam also gives the definition. Mukti hitvata anya rupam swarupena vivastita. That when one gives up all other false identifications and realizes his swarup, or constitutional position, as servant of Krishna, that is mukti, or that is actual liberation. When one is fully purified, he realizes that his constitutional position is to be the eternal servant of God. So by association with pure devotees, the inquisitive, the distressed, the seeker after material amelioration, improvement, material improvement, the seeker after material amelioration, and the man in knowledge all become themselves pure. But in the preparatory stage, the man who is in full knowledge of the Supreme Lord and is at the same time executing devotional service is very dear to the Lord. He who is situated in pure knowledge of the transcendence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is so protected in devotional service that material contamination cannot touch him. So, my dear devotees, most of you, if not all of you, are in the category of the Lord is very dear to you, and you are very dear to the Lord, and the Lord will protect you from material contamination because of your engagement in devotional service and full knowledge of Him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And of course, the main processes of devotional service are, well, they begin with Shravanam and Kirtanam, hearing about Krishna and glorifying Krishna or singing the holy names of Krishna, Shravanam, Kirtanam. And especially in Kali Yuga, Harinama, Harinama, Harinami Kevalam, Kalona Stevana, 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 Stevakatira. One should chant the holy names, chant the holy names, chant the holy names of Hari, Krishna. There is no other way, no other way, no other way for success in this age of Kali. And as Srila Prabhupada said in one talk in Los Angeles, if you've got time, chant Hare Krishna. Don't speak nonsense. Chant Hare Krishna. So we have been given a wonderful process by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through Parampara, through Srila, and we should take advantage. We should not waste time. We should chant Hare Krishna. We should not speak nonsense, but we should glorify Krishna and his pure devotees and the process of devotional service, and then we'll be happy and satisfied. And at the end of this lifetime, we will be eligible to go back home, back to God. So, as far as possible, we should always chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So thank you very much. Now, if any of you have any questions or comments, or reflections, you can raise your hand. All right? Oh. What's the question? Or is it a comment?
No, it's a question. So then she thought about the asked, but they didn't think it was to get, this is absolutely. But the question is, wasn't it Barbara was thinking unfavorably of Mr. Pig, that favorably before Christmas service?
Yes, Srila Prabhupada was thinking unfavorably of Mr. Payne because he was cheating us or trying to cheat us, just like Kamsa was thinking unfavorably of Krishna. He thought that Krishna would be the death of him. So he was thinking of Krishna, he was Krishna conscious, but unfavorably. Not anukul, but pratikul.
And Prabhupada's unfavorably of the rest of the Krishna in relation to his point.
Yeah.
Isn't fair to discuss.
Well, I mean, he was thinking of Mr. Payne like Krishna was thinking of Kamsa unfavorably. Kamsa thought Krishna was a threat, and Mr. Payne was also a threat because he was trying to cheat the devotees.
I'm not sure. Because Prabhupada was thinking unfavorably of Mr. Pig. It wasn't unfavorable for Krishna, favorable for Krishna.
Of course, Srila Prabhupada.
Yes, this verse, Anukul, that will apply to Prabhupada favorably to Krishna, not favorable.
I'm not sure I'm following, but Prabhupada was thinking favorably of Krishna, but unfavorably of Mr. Payne.
Yes.
Yes?
I became curious when you were doing the last sentence here, the second, the third one, about what exactly would be situated in pure knowledge of the transcendence of the Supreme Personality of God. Like, what does that look like in practical terms?
You are situated in pure knowledge of the transcendence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That means that one realizes that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is transcendental, Satchidananda Vigraha. He is not contaminated by or influenced by any of the modes of material nature, and therefore he is transcendental. And so one who is situated in pure knowledge of the transcendence, that means of the transcendental position of the Supreme Personality of God, is protected.
But they might still be content about the conversation, or the third, if they're actually like spiritually situated in that knowledge.
It depends how you define being contaminated. Srila Prabhupada gave the example that a neophyte devotee is not touched by the modes of nature, but may still feel some effects of the modes of nature. And he gave the example that someone who is uh, riding in a boat but is not expert in handling the boat will be tossed and turned by the waves. So in that sense, there will be some disturbance. But the water of the modes of nature will not actually come inside the boat and touch the person. So he's not so expert, so there's some disturbance, you could say, but still, he's not actually touched by material contamination. Yes, well, what the third canto says, and Srila Prabhupada has paraphrased it very nicely, that someone engaged in devotional service but influenced by the mode of ignorance will think, I'm the only real devotee here. Everyone else is nonsense. Someone influenced by the mode of passion will think, I want to be known as the best devotee. I want to be the best devotee and I want to be known as the best devotee. And one influenced by the mode of goodness will think, I want to go back home, back to Godhead. And one who's transcendental will think, I just want to serve Krishna and please Krishna. So as far as correlating that idea that is expressed in the third canto with the idea of being in the boat and being tossed and turned, but not actually being hit by the water, I hadn't really thought of it before. It could be, the two could be correlated, yes. Thank you. Again, it depends how you define contamination. I mean, they are contaminations in the sense that one's mood or consciousness is not completely pure. But at the same time, he is engaged in devotional service. And devotional service, by definition, is transcendental. From my personal experience with Srila Prabhupada, he pretty much all of his devotees as pure devotees. He didn't take seriously the modes that they were influenced by, but whatever it was, he engaged them and encouraged them in devotional service. Like once someone asked Srila Prabhupada, how many pure devotees are there in the world? And Srila Prabhupada said, how many devotees are there in ISKCON? Because I think in terms of the definition of Rupa Goswami, if one is not consciously engaging in devotional service for some material benefit or impersonal liberation, then yeah, he or she can be considered a pure devotee. Although in an immature state, perhaps. And here Srila Prabhupada gave the example of an unripe mango and a ripe mango. They're both mangoes, but the unripe mango is hard and sour, and the ripe mango is soft and sweet. So the way he explained it, that there are different stages of pure devotee. One may be a pure devotee, but in an immature stage, unripened, and then one might be a little hard and sour. But that same pure devotee will naturally ripen as long as the devotee continues the process of Krishna consciousness and doesn't commit any serious offenses. And then that same unripe pure devotee will become a ripe pure devotee, will be soft and juicy. Like Krishna. Any other questions or comments?
There's books
Yeah, I'll go there, and anyone who takes a book, I'll inscribe it for them. All right, thank you all for being so attentive, patient, and inquisitive. And yeah, I wish you all the best. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Sri Krishna Bhagavan ki jai. Hare Krishna.